All right. Hi guys, welcome to this session. This is going to be very important session for you all. जितने भी बच्चे MBA करना चाहते हैं सबके लिए, because we gonna talk about profile building today. मेरे ख्याल से ये बहुत important topic है. अभी आपके snap नजदीक आ रही है, NMAT is there, CAT is there, ZAT is there, and बहुत सारे बच्चे कहते हैं कि सर हम हमारी प्रोफाइल बिल्ड कैसे करें. So हमारे यहाँ पे आज 3 स्टूडेंट्स आए हैं एंड इनकी प्रोफाइल ऑलरेडी बहुत अच्छी है. इन लोगों ने बहुत कुछ फोड़ा है. अब पता नहीं ये लोग कितना डिस्क्लोज करना पसंद करेंगे, बट आई नो देयर प्रोफाइल एंड दे हैव डन अमेजिंग थिंग्स, राइट. सो आज का टॉपिक यही होगा कि लीजा है मेरे साथ, सृष्टि है, एंड देन वी गॉट सचिन. 3 ऑफ देम आर फ्रॉम SIDTM, जिसकी काफी चर्चा हो रही है आजकल मार्केट में. सो ये आए हैं आपको हेल्प करने के लिए, एंड वी गोना टॉक अबाउट हाउ टू बिल्ड प्रोफाइल. प्रोफाइल बिल्डिंग के कुछ मिथ्स है वो हम बर्स्ट करने वाले हैं. एंड जहां तक बात है स्नैप एग्जाम का, स्नैप में 50% वेटेज है आपका स्नैप का स्कोर का, परसेंटाइल का, एंड आपका 50% का वेटेज है आपकी प्रोफाइल, आपका जी, आपका PI, आपका वैट वगैरह वगैरह, एंड प्रोफाइल कट्स थ्रू एवरीथिंग मेरे ख्याल से. सो गाइज, वेलकम ऑन बोर्ड, वेलकम लीजा, सृष्टि एंड सचिन. हैप्पी टू हैव यू. बहुत सारे बच्चे हैं जो जानना चाहते हैं कि हम अपनी प्रोफाइल कैसे बिल्ड करें. स्नैप एग्जाम हो, स्नैप की कॉलेजेस हो, IIMs हो वगैरह वगैरह. सो एज अ हेल्पिंग हैंड और एज अ मेंटर आप इनको क्या सजेस्ट करोगे प्रोफाइल में? प्लीज गो हेड.
Okay, so I would initially like to introduce myself. So I'm Lisa Jacob, and I've had, and the academic background that I come from is very diverse. I did my junior college in science field, and then I moved to media and communication. After that, I've done digital advertising as in my work ex. So I've been working for Dentsu Web Chutney, which is a digital advertising firm. And then I moved to SIDTM. So like when we talk about profile building, if you can look at how diverse my profile is, but yet I was able to connect it and streamline it. So how did I streamline it? So while I was streamlining, while I was studying for Snap, I also wanted to build my profile in terms of if an MBA interviewer picks up my profile, what needs to be in it. So the things that would matter is something that are your certifications, your co-curricular activities, your something that you've done for the NGO. Apart from that, there's also things like what showcases your team leader skills, which is a very important part for any management school, any B school. So these are the few things that I thought could, can be picked up from an interviewer's perspective.
Okay, perfect. Srishti, you want to talk about profile?
Yes, sir. Thank you. So basically, for introducing myself first, I'm Srishti Bhanera, and I'm a fresher actually, and I've done my engineering in electronics and telecommunication. And from there, I shifted to SIDTM. Basically, it's very aligned with my bachelor's degree, but still I wanted to go in a marketing domain actually. So for that, I had done an internship in digital marketing to showcase my interest in the marketing field. And for that, I also did some few certifications in like digital marketing, Facebook marketing and all. And with that actually helped me a lot to justify why I want to go into the marketing domain as well. And basically, it also gave me some skills like leadership skills, team player, content curation. And these are the skills which helped me during my Snap college interviews and also during my placement interviews, because it actually, I had something to talk about, and in doing an internship in the same field like digital marketing helped a lot. Also, when I talk about like profile building for a fresher, basically, it's very important to do things which are out of your comfort zone, because it can teach you a lot of things. So when I got into SIDTM, the most important thing that actually changed my entire career, or actually my skill sets, were going into a committee. I joined the committee branding and admissions, which taught me different like time management skills, public speaking. These were the main skills that I learned, and I could actually communicate with the interviewer, also put myself in a way where I am good at these skills, and that's the way I build my profile being a fresher actually. Thank you, sir.
So it's a versatility kind of a thing. Like you came from telecom background, फिर आप DTM आए, फिर आपने DTM में digital marketing सीखा, and that has helped you. And I can definitely say that has helped her, because we know she's been placed as a fresher, but we cannot disclose those figures, but eventually we will. But as on today, she has done a fantastic job. And trust me, when you listen to her story, there will be a separate video onto it. You would definitely want to follow her path, that's for sure. So thank you so much, Srishti, on that front. So we'll
Thank you,
talk
sir.
about versatility of profile, doing everything, is it required or not? Sachin, if you want to pay kind of any attention on this point, कि sir सब कुछ करना जरूरी है, या फिर एक streamline रखो वो भी चलेगा.
So, yeah, I'm audible. Yeah. So, sir, I'm Sachin. Welcome. It's great talking to you, sir. So, I'm from Vadodara, Gujarat, and I'm a chemical engineer. So, my profile is also quite diverse. So, and you can think that how would a chemical engineer come into telecom, digital
Surprising.
telecom institute, right? Also, before joining SIDTM, I had a work ex of 20 months as a B2B salesperson for Berger Paints India Limited. So now you can see how diverse my profile is. So to get into SIDTM and having a good profile, for that, I tried to focus more on my hobbies because I think that that also plays a very important part. So I like music and I have done classical music in my +2 as well. So I gave some time to hobbies as well. And that helped me crack my interview at SIDTM as well. That was one of the talking points for my interview. That how, like, what did music teach you? What was music so important? Apart from that, juggling between working and preparing for SNAP, I also took out time to volunteer at a student organization. So that is something which I did for building my profile as well. And talking about your question, sir, like सब कुछ करना जरूरी है नहीं. I feel that it is the age of to become jack of all trades, but master of some, not one. So that is something which I think is important. You need to know bits of pieces of every particular thing. Like since it's a telecom institute and you need to know basics of telecom, you need to know basics of what technologies are in the like landscape and how businesses are getting benefit from them. So all these things which I think one should know bits of pieces of everything and one should not divulge more into any details. It's good to have some type of information and you can just master one skill. Maybe that could be your specialization. So that is something which I feel, sir. Yeah.
All right, cool. Now, couple of open questions to you all. When you talk about SNAP, है ना? SNAP exam 50% weightage for your percentile जो भी आपका 60, 70, 80, 90 whatever. And then 50% आपका जाता है GE, PI, VARC वगैरह में. PI का weightage बहुत ज्यादा है SNAP में. And PI में ही आपका profile बहुत ज्यादा देखने को मिलता है. मतलब they'll be asking you a lot of questions on the PI front, right? So now, how and like what are the ways that students can develop their profile? Let's say अभी उनके बहुत सारे exams भी lined up है. ऐसी क्या चीजें वो कर सकते हैं? जैसे you continued with your hobby. Some of them might not be knowing their hobbies, whatsoever. ऐसी क्या चीजें करना अभी उनके लिए जरूरी है so that अगले 2-2.5 महीने में they have certain things to write in that snap का form जो हमें भरना पड़ता है ना? So give little idea on that front.
So Ketan, I would like to take up this question. So I was also working while I was prepping for SNAP. So मैं यही सोच रही थी कि ठीक है, I have work ex. So is it good enough to talk about? I have work ex, but is there anything else apart from that my profile can stand out? So I was freelancing at that point of time, and in order to get like projects that were more NGO led in terms of how holistically I can take care of things. So there was during that point of time COVID had hit. So what I was trying to do is that I picked up a project that was helping out brick and mortar groceries in order to digitalize them. Like as basic as creating a WhatsApp for business for them. So we created like a chain of grocery shops that were in my neighborhood. And we just did like a small thing. We just created their database. We just created a WhatsApp for business for them. And this is something as a project that I picked up that I could talk about in my interview. So even in your work ex, is there something that in particular can pick up interest from the interviewer? And apart from that, there were certifications that I was working on. And when you talk about certifications also, it needs to be aligned to your, it needs to be aligned to what you're doing, what you want to do. So यहाँ पे I used to do one hack. कि मुझे जो company, like I had a company list of 10 companies that these are my dream companies and I want to get into these companies. So what I used to do is that I used to go through their LinkedIn profile I used to go through their employee section, stalk their employees, actually check out which certifications they've done. And based on that, I would align those certifications to mine and with my background. And then I would know कि ठीक है, ये certifications अगर मैं करूँ तो the chances of me getting the visibility that I need is there. So certifications also, Ketan, what in terms of certifications, would you suggest any certification like websites or companies that are actually booming right now?
Yeah, I would definitely suggest certifications offered by us, no doubt about it, because they're more practical. But again, there are a lot of certifications that you can do. I mean, if we talk about the, the professional one, CFA level 1 would do, mere khayal se. PMP would do, mere khayal se. Anything to do with Six Sigma would do. So these are really, a fantastic sort of a certification that you can do. If you really want to get into that domain, अगर आपको नहीं चलना है तो मत करो. But अगर आपको digital में जाना है, you can do छोटा मोटा digital marketing का, एक kind of a certification कर लिया, एक आध छोटा मोटा internship कर लिया, maybe एक आध live project कर लिया. That should be more than enough. So that's the point. Like if you want to do something, have your profile in line to that, so that at least interviewer does not get confused कि भाई चल ठीक है, तुम्हें DTM में आना है या फिर तुम्हें digital marketing करना है, आपने कुछ तो करा है, and we are happy about that. So these are a couple of things that you can talk about, मेरे ख्याल से, या फिर you can sort of, get on your resume if you wish to.
Ketan, there's also one more question that a lot of aspirants ask. That, for example, your profile is so diverse that it's difficult for me to, pull it along and actually present it to the interviewer. So is there something like a narrative that you build that can help around? So like for me, what I do is that I wanted to connect, like it was still jumbled up. Like I had science before, I had media and communications later, I had digital advertising later. So it was all very jumbled up. So in order for that, I had like a narrative that I wanted to create. Okay, just like while you're displaying your strength, you should not forget your weaknesses. Like it's human, it's very human to understand from the opposite person ki theek hai, like this person probably faltered at some point, but she's working on her weakness. So that's how the narrative needs to be. It needs to have a human touch and not, it shouldn't be ChatGPT for sure.
True. So anybody want to add anything in this? Sachin or Srishti maybe?
I would like to add. So basically, I had a gap year also of 1 year. So for me, the biggest fear was how to justify why I had the gap year, or if the interviewer asked, like, what did you do in the gap year? So I actually had seen your video also, like Ketan sir's, talk about how you worked on yourself and you improving your skills and all. So that was the major point when I used to justify what I did during the gap year. So basically I had my internship, my certification, and also how I mentally like battling the COVID like pandemic situation was also going on at that point of time. So talking about all those things and creating your perspective, like why you want to do an MBA during the interview is very important. So I wanted to go, my goal was clear, like I wanted to go in marketing and sales domain. So that's how I created my story. Like I did the internship in digital marketing, that because I was interested in that. So I had a justification for each and everything that I did during the entire gap year. So these are the main points, I think.
I want to ask you
Ketan,
guys, you guys have done a lot of stuff. You guys are in committees also. है ना? अभी आप लोगों ने season भी देखा है, placement का, it's on. I genuinely want you all to tell कि गैप ईयर मैटर करता है या नहीं मैटर करता है, बिकॉज बहुत सारे बच्चे दे समटाइम्स गेट डिप्रेस्ड. वो 2-3 बजे वाले जो थॉट होते हैं ना सुबह के नाइटमेयर, वो परेशान हो जाते हैं बच्चे कि मेरे को गैप है, 1 साल 2 साल का गैप है, मैं क्या करूं. सो आई वांट यू गाइस टू टॉक लिटिल बिट अबाउट इट, बिकॉज आप लोगों ने प्लेसमेंट कमिटी को भी बहुत क्लोजली ऑब्जर्व करा है. सो क्या कंपनीज के लिए मैटर करता है, प्लेसकॉम के लिए मैटर करता है, बी स्कूल क्रैक करने के लिए मैटर करता है, या फिर अगर मैं और इसको माइक्रो लेवल पे लेके जाऊं, अगर किसी को 30-35 लाख की सैलरी चाहिए या 15-20 लाख की सैलरी चाहिए, क्या उसके लिए गैप मैटर करेगा या बिल्कुल भी मैटर नहीं करता है? प्लीज थोड़ा सा इसके ऊपर एक्सप्लेनेशन बता दो.
So we have Sachin, actually we have Sachin from the PLACECOM.
Oh, you're from PLACECOM, Sachin. Hey, why didn't you tell me earlier, man? I would have asked you a lot of questions. Or
Sure.
Sachin, please go ahead.
Yes, sir. So basically, sir, gap has its own varieties. Some is like one gap is something maybe related to some of the reasons. So it all boils down to how much are you able to justify that particular reason of gap. One thing is that which companies do take into consideration Apart from that, if you have done nothing in that gap, then it becomes a concern, right? If you have 3 years gap or something like that, but
हाँ.
you are just sitting in home and maybe you didn't do anything productive in that gap. So it becomes very difficult to justify it. And any recruiter would catch it in a second that whether it's bluffing or not. So that is one thing which we feel or which we have seen that if a person is able to justify his gap, it's very sorted. And it also, one more thing which is very important for justifying gap is storytelling. How are you able to create a story of what actually happened, what you went through, and what did you do to make it more productive? And if I talk about companies, which like generally couple of companies have some criteria of gap, which we do not know, they do not disclose whatever it is. But it
बट
when
कॉलेज की तरफ से ऐसा कुछ होता है क्या कि या फिर कंपनी कभी आपको ऐसा बोलते हैं क्या कि यार देखो हम कैंपस में तो आपके आएंगे 15-20 लाख का पैकेज लेके और जो गैप वाले बच्चे हैं उनको बिल्कुल भी मत बुलाना, ऐसा कभी होता है क्या?
that is not the case at all. So no company specifically
Okay.
mentions that we don't want candidates from gap or something like that.
Okay,
But
perfect.
eventually, later on, if what happens in the background, we also don't know. But as this is not the case, that a company straight away says that we don't want people from gap years. And it's like everyone should get an opportunity. That is what we feel. And I think companies do respect if you are able to say, if you have your point as well. As like if someone is preparing from UPSC and they have a gap of 2 to 3 years. So that is quite understandable that yes, they have been through something, and any UPSC candidate would be knowing a lot of stuff to talk about in an interview. So I think that can be one of the situation. So that is something, yeah.
I'll do 2 add-ons यहाँ पे. मैं 2 चीजें आपको बताऊंगा. Being a panelist, a lot of B schools, a lot of kids would come and say that कि sir gap है. पहली बात तो 80% of the time हमें पता ही नहीं चलता है as a panelist कि सामने जो बच्चा बैठा है उसका gap है कि नहीं है. वो नहीं पता चलता है until and unless वो कुछ ऐसी तरीके से प्रिपरेशन करके आया है जो प्रॉपरली नहीं बात कर पा रहा है, then we can figure out कि इसके पास गैप है, and then we kind of dig into it. So if he or she is able to explain me कि सर मेरा गैप है, इसका रीजन क्या है, मैं यूपीएससी कर रहा था, मैं सीए कर रहा था, मैं कैट कर रहा था, स्नैप कर रहा था, whatever stuff, then I think गैप का मैटर नहीं करता, बिल्कुल भी नहीं करता. दूसरी बात, कैंपस प्लेसमेंट में भी गैप देखा नहीं जाता. वंस यू आर इनसाइड द बी स्कूल, आपने उस बी स्कूल में क्या करा वो बहुत ज्यादा मैटर करता है. इसमें और एक चीज है, अगर आपका 12th के बाद वाला गैप होगा गाइस, वो भी मैटर नहीं करेगा. आपका ग्रेजुएशन में गैप होगा, वो भी मैटर नहीं करेगा. सप्ली लगा, एटी केटी लगा, एक साल आपका खराब हो गया, वो गैप भी मैटर बिल्कुल नहीं करता. एंड अगर आपने डेफर करा है आपका एडमिशन, बहुत सारे आईएम्स वगैरह में बी स्कूल्स में डेफरमेंट भी होता है, वो भी गैप मैटर नहीं करता बिल्कुल भी. सो कहीं पे भी मुझे नहीं लगता कि गैप आपका मैटर करेगा, आपको प्लेसमेंट भी मिल जाएगा. इसके और आगे एक कदम चल के बात करेंगे. लाइक व्हेन आई वाज वर्किंग विद डॉइचे, जब रिक्रूटमेंट हमारा हुआ करता था, तो उस रिक्रूटमेंट में हम देखते थे कि यार जो लोग हैं जो 3, 4, 5, 6 साल की एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप करके आते थे, बाद में वो कहते थे कि नहीं सर एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप हो गया, अभी थोड़ा कॉर्पोरेट में वापस आना है, so and so forth. So वहां पे भी आपका कुछ प्रॉब्लम नहीं है, because you did something during that period, maybe 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, because I haven't seen any person जो बोला मैं 3 साल कुछ भी नहीं करा मेरी जिंदगी में, ऐसा तो पॉसिबल ही नहीं है. So you have done something, you have learned something. So I think that's okay. I have seen a lot of female candidate also got married because of this family thing and all that. वो 4, 5, 6 साल के बाद आते हैं, when they raise their kid very well and when he starts going to the schools and all that, वो लोग फिर आके कॉर्पोरेट जर्नी अपना चालू करते हैं. तो गैप एक्चुअली मैटर नहीं करता. क्या मैटर करता है कि आप उसका एक्सप्लेनेशन कैसे देते हो, आप उसको कैसे कन्विंस करने की कोशिश करते हो कि सर मैंने गैप क्यों लिया. बट यस, प्रॉब्लम कहाँ होती है एज अ पैनलिस्ट और एज अ रिक्रूटर, इफ यू आर नॉट एबल टू टॉक अबाउट इट, देन देयर इज अ प्रॉब्लम. राइट नाउ मैं इसको और थोड़ा आगे लेके चलता हूँ, प्रोफाइल के बारे में बात करेंगे, स्पेसिफिकली डीटीएम. आपके यहाँ पे 70, 60, 80, 85 से लेके 97 परसेंटाइल के बच्चे बैठते हैं. बहुत ज्यादा रेंज है आपकी. और मैं ऑलवेज कहता हूं कि परसेंटाइल कैन नॉट जज एनी बी स्कूल. सो मैंने देखा है ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम इन SIDTM स्टूडेंट्स हैव ब्रिलियंट प्रोफाइल्स, देयर इज नो डाउट अबाउट इट. यू कैन टॉक अबाउट लीजा, यू कैन टॉक अबाउट अजवाना, आपकी सीनियर, राइट. सो पीपल हैव डन फैंटास्टिक जॉब एज फार एज देयर प्रोफाइल्स आर कंसर्न. और वो हमने प्लेसमेंट में भी देखा है, एवरेज 13.5-14 लाख टच करेगा, हाईएस्ट इज ऑल्सो डूइंग गुड. आप लोगों का एक क्या फंडा है प्रोफाइल को लेके एज SIDTM एज अ ब्रांड? व्हाट काइंड ऑफ प्रोफाइल्स यू गाइस आर लुकिंग एट एंड व्हाट यू बिलीव इन प्रोफाइल vis-a-vis द परसेंटाइल 60-70 ऑड मैटर नहीं करता. प्लीज थोड़ा एक्सप्लेन करो इसके ऊपर.
Okay, so I'd like to take that up. So profiles also that like I mentioned before, key profiles जब pick up करते हैं, for example these schools में, so they look at management skills. कौन से चीजें आपने की है जहाँ पे मैनेजमेंट स्किल्स एग्जूड हो रहा है. So this is one point. And the other is also that the interviewer, while speaking to you, will also come to know the level of confidence you have in terms of how would you, bring a conversation together. Like if you are in a GD, for example, and if you are supposed to like take the narrative along, would you be able to do that? Would you be able to string along the entire narrative? So, ये conversations में interviewers can pick these things up. So what apart from these things as well, while you're doing the certifications, those matter as well. But digital and telecom. So digital and telecom is looking at creating more techno managers, producing more techno managers. So while it is a niche college, we focus on the ICT domain, and it is also looked at from the placement perspective that if we are getting these many students on board, are these students capable of the industry? Are they industry ready? Like, are they at the brink of it at least so that we can mold and bring them to this level? So that is also one of the parts that they look at. So techno managerial, like if they have the slightest, even if they are from a diverse background, but unko zara bhi interest hai technology mein, like how the technology is moving currently. So that is what is mostly picked. So this could be one tip for the people who would want to, apply for SIDTM, that
Right.
the inclination needs to be there, the curiosity. Even if you're from a diverse background, it shouldn't matter unless and until you have the interest towards tech.
So just to add one thing, so the narrative जो अब, और ये थोड़ा सा अगर मैं डिटेल में बात करूंगा तो थोड़ा समझ लेना, आई एम नॉट श्योर कितने लोग यहाँ पे कनेक्ट कर पाएंगे. द नैरेटिव ऑफ हैविंग हाई परसेंटाइल फॉर गुड बी स्कूल्स, आई थिंक ओवर अ पीरियड ऑफ टाइम ये थोड़ा फेड अवे होने लगा है, because there are a lot of B schools. Even for that matter, when I talk about Ahmedabad mein you will have students from fashion designing, humanities and commerce cracking Ahmedabad at 90th percentile, right? Again, if I talk about SIBM Pune, I have seen people not making it to SIBM Pune even at 99.80, but have made it to SIBM Pune with 97.50. So same goes for SIDTM also. So जितने भी बच्चे ये समझ रहे हैं, ये सोच रहे हैं कि अगर कि मुझे हाई परसेंटाइल ही लगेगा स्नैप में एक अच्छा बी स्कूल लाने के लिए, वो गलत है. दूसरी बात, अगर कोई बी स्कूल का परसेंटाइल रेंज कम है तो वो बी स्कूल अच्छा नहीं है, ये भी नैरेटिव बहुत ज्यादा गलत है. बिकॉज ओवर ए पीरियड ऑफ टाइम अगर आप देखोगे अच्छे परसेंटाइल वाले बी स्कूल तो अच्छा कर ही लेते हैं, बट एक चैलेंजर मॉडल होता है मार्केटिंग में, एक होता है लीडर मॉडल, एक दूसरा होता है चैलेंजर कंपनी होती है. सो ऑल दीज बी स्कूल्स हु आर टेकिंग स्टूडेंट्स एट अ लो परसेंटाइल, they are maybe they are not good at aptitude, but they are very good with the academics, their personality, their body language, and they have a clarity. So ऐसे बच्चों को भी चांस दिए जाते हैं फिलहाल, और ऐसे बच्चों ने कमाल करा है. मतलब मैं DTM के बारे में भी बात करूं, SIBM के बारे में बात करूं, SIBM Bangalore, I can talk about a lot of snap colleges, and I've seen people at lowest percentile cracking 20-25 lakh plus का package. So if you are somebody who is not great at aptitude, but you've got your profile sorted, आपके लिए बहुत बड़ा एडवांटेज होने वाला है. बिकॉज ये प्लेसमेंट वाला हमारा बंदा है सचिन, एक बात बता मेरे को, मैं पकड़ेगा तेरे को ऑलवेज. एक बात बता, जब बच्चा समर के लिए बैठता है या फिर जब बच्चा तुम्हारा फाइनल एग्जाम के लिए बैठता है, डू यू इवन थिंक कि जो हाईएस्ट पैकेज लेके आती है कंपनी, वो कभी इनको परसेंटाइल भी पूछती है कि भाई बता तेरा स्नैप में क्या परसेंटाइल है, तेरा कैट में क्या परसेंटाइल है? कभी पूछा जाता है ये?
That is not at all asked. It's not the case at all. It all boils down to what profile you have. It all boils down to what you have done throughout your MBA journey, whatever it is, and how much you are able to speak on it, and how much do you know about it. That all boils down to it only, sir.
Cool. Can I have थोड़ा तुम SIDTM का बैच प्रोफाइल पता चलेगा? इंजीनियर, नॉन इंजीनियर, डाइवर्सिटी थोड़ा बहुत.
So talking about batch profile, so in our batch, we have 60% of engineers and 40% of non-engineers. We're ranging from various backgrounds. We have people from commerce, we have people from BBA, and we have people from hotel management as well. And we have people from
वाले भी बच्चे हैं.
yes, so we have, and we have people from arts background as well. So I think the college promotes diversity at a good levels. Yeah.
But वो कोप कर पाएंगे अंदर आने के बाद? टेक्निकल चीजें कर पाएंगे?
अच्छा. That's only what Lisa mentioned, that if they can make talk about how much interest they are in technology, कितना उन्हें पता है टेक्नोलॉजी के बारे में, क्या ड्राइव करता है उन्हें, and then I think anyone can cope up with the thing. Yeah.
Because Ketan, like I am from a media and communication background. Like
ये
so
अभी बोल
me,
के वाला था. You are an epitome of, non-engineer can do really good. And
yeah.
eventually हम लाएंगे जब videos, तब आपको पता चलेगा कि इन लोगों ने क्या 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 फोड़ा है अपनी लाइफ में. सो इवेंचुअली हम डेफिनेटली करेंगे. बट यार ना, मैं प्रोफाइल के बारे में बात कर रहा था. मतलब प्रसन्ना हो गया जो लास्ट ईयर आपके साथ था, एंड you guys have done a fantastic job. So guys, यहाँ पे परसेंटाइल मैटर नहीं करता. मेरे ख्याल से स्नैप एक इतनी प्यारी एग्जाम है जो आपको फेयर चांस देती है कि भाई चल, तेरा परसेंटाइल भी अभी कम है ना, कोई लोड नहीं है. मे बी यू माइट मिस ऑन SIBM Pune or SMHRD or let's say SIIB and something like that, but there are loads of institutions जो आपको बहुत ज्यादा अच्छा खासा अपॉर्चुनिटी दे सकते हैं. आप लोगों को भी SIDTM मेरे वीडियो से ही पता चला होगा लास्ट ईयर, if I'm not wrong.
That has happened, yes.
But it's a good thing. It's a good thing because I feel so good कि 70, 75, 80, 85 वाले जो बच्चे हैं, they are not anymore getting into depression. They have platform like SIDTM जहाँ पे जाके अंदर वो फाड़ सकते हैं, वो मेहनत करके एक अच्छा खासा पैकेज लेके आ सकते हैं. बिकॉज एट द एंड ऑफ द डे तुम्हारा परसेंटाइल कोई नहीं देखता, तुम्हारे स्किल सेट ही मैटर करते हैं. सो आई थिंक आई एम रियली हैप्पी अबाउट दैट. एनी अदर थिंग यू वांट टू हेल्प विद दिस किड्स ऑन अ प्रोफाइल फ्रंट? कुछ हेल्प करना चाहोगे, बताना चाहोगे क्या करना है? बाय द वे, चलो मैं आपको एक क्लू दे देता हूँ. डू यू थिंक कोर्सेरा हो गया, यूडेमी हो गया, ये जो सर्टिफिकेशंस बच्चे करते हैं जो सस्ते वाले होते हैं, ये कुछ है इनका इंपॉर्टेंस? लीजा, आई वांट यू टू टेक दैट अप, एंड सचिन, यू आल्सो.
So actually, when you look at it, you'll find kids in bulk that are doing those certifications. So anything that is being done at a higher frequency it's not very valued, because that's the knowledge that everybody gains, right? So something that is more curated, which is like a Harvard Business program, or something like an IIM program. So these are the courses that you can find on their website. So while you want to polish yourself, you actually want to polish yourself up to that standard. I mean, what is the standard that we're looking at? What do we aspire to be? So that is where we want to look at these certifications, where the improvement can drastically happen, rather than, and Udemy and these courses also have this thing that you can, it's like you can skip and move on to the end and you get the certification. So a lot of like how legit is it is also a question.
जुगाड़ स्ट्रैटेजी. स्किप कर लिया, हो गया उनमें सर्टिफिकेट डाउनलोड, बट डाउनलोड हो गया, हम बात बन गई. वो नहीं करना चाहिए, वो नहीं करना चाहिए. सचिन, any take on?
Sure, sir. Definitely. So doing certifications is a good thing. You get to know a couple of things, but if it's done for the sake of doing it, then it's not at all worthy. So if I talk about Coursera, Udemy, these already mentioned that skip. So that doesn't add any value. But there are a couple of courses available on IIM's website. There are Swayam portal, NPTEL, which have a good exam pattern as well. They evaluate students on basis of how they have learned. So that type of certifications can help, but in a particular field which you are interested in. If you're not interested in that particular field and you are doing just for the like ऐसे ही करना है, तो that won't help. Apart from that, certifications के अलावा we also have live projects as well, which can help you get into more details of any particular, like if you are interested in, let's say, marketing. So there are a couple of live projects available for the marketing domain. And what happens is this give you real-time experience, and like you get to work on various things at the same time. What an organization can do with this type of projects is. So I think apart from certifications, live project can be a good alternative to learn more real-time experiences or something like that. Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Srishti, I have a question for you. You were a fresher. Plus आपका एक साल का गैप था. आपने ये नहीं सोचा कि यार मैं और 1-2-3 साल का वर्क लेके वगैरह वगैरह करके मैं बी स्कूल में एंट्री लेती हूँ? या फिर you were so confident about the brand SIDTM कि you were like चलो हो जाएगा, it's a good B school, they're doing fantastically good. क्या thought process था आपका उस टाइम पे?
So basically, I had done my bachelor's in electronics and telecommunication. So वो तो मैंने अभी घर वाले बोल रहे थे तो मैंने कर दिया. So basically, I didn't wanted to do a job in that field. And
lot of graduations ना घर वालों की वजह से ही होते हैं. Actually में देखा जाए तो मतलब ग्रेजुएशन का स्ट्रीम घर वालों की वजह से ही चूज किया जाता है. मास्टर्स जो होता है वो बच्चा खुद की पसंद से लेता है, because then the parents get to know that we screwed his 3 years or 4 years. Now master, you take care by yourself. Continue.
Right. So I didn't wanted to do a job in that domain as such, or even IT if we consider that. So मेरे को marketing and sales में जाना था basically, and I wanted to go in. And फिर मैंने जब I learned about SIDTM, so my bachelor's and this college was actually little bit aligning. So वो मेरे को फिर मेरे जो subjects थे पहले वो मैंने पढ़े हुए थे, तो यहाँ पे मेरे को बहुत help हुआ. The subjects that are taught in SIDTM, I've already learned few things and here and there, and that also helped me during my placement or SIP, because I had some knowledge about the technology that I've learned, and that actually helped me a lot. So yeah, that's the way I choose SIDTM basically.
Okay. Now I'm gonna have you on hot seat, Sachin, because you are from placement. Lot of kids would love to know कि placement में क्या scene है SIDTM का. I know you guys are doing fantastically good from last 3 years, but I would love to have, let's say, 1 or 2 sentences जहाँ पे आप ये बता दो that what's in the kitty. Do not, I mean, again, तुम्हारे protocols आप follow करो, but non-engineers की placement कैसी है, engineers की placement कैसी है, वो भी एक बार बता देना. Again, Lisa is again a great example, but we kind of थोड़ा secretive रखेंगे. थोड़ा बता दे यार किस टाइप की companies आती है और क्या-क्या profile आती है campus पे.
Sure. So talking about companies, we have companies related to various verticals. We have companies from telecom, we have from consulting, we have
Nice.
from IT, ITS as well. So if I talk about consulting, we have big fours coming on campus. Talking about telecom, we have the leading telecom players visiting our campus. And from IT, ITS, we have the top players in the market, which is already available on the website, like Infosys and all. So that is something. And there is like some companies might have some criteria, some companies might not have a criteria, but in overall there are profiles aligning to each and everyone's the roles which are coming to the campus. So there is everything like everything has someone in the lot. सबके पास कुछ मिल जाता है ऐसा. That what I would like to say, because eventually it's all about which profile you are interested in and how much you are willing to get into that profile. So you can see on the website as well, there are a couple of profiles, good profiles available in consulting. We have telecom consultant.
Coming on the campus, I've seen Extra-curriculars coming on the campus. Actually, the strategy में आता है मेरे ख्याल से. जब मुझे ये पता चला, I was like, holy shit, because Extra is a big brand. I mean, like, Action strategy बहुत बड़ा brand है. ऐसे भी पुणे में भी वो आता है. मेरे ख्याल से वो IIM से भी चले जाता है. तो ये मैंने disclose किया. So the onus is on me, by the way. So yeah, so placement wise, you guys are doing really good, and आपके stats भी बढ़ रहे हैं over a period of time. I think कुछ 13.5 lakh or 14 you guys are touching now. So great, yaar. Awesome. Any closing thoughts from your side? Anything that you guys wanna tell these kids? Somebody's asking how to get into placement committee. रुक जाओ, वो बाद में बात करेंगे. Any closing thoughts? By the way, before I close this session, I would also love to tell you guys that there are a lot of videos will be coming from SIDTM के students जो है मतलब इनके videos में anyway shoot करने वाला हूँ. इनकी पूरी success journey हम आपको बताने वाले हैं. So that's number 1. Number 2, they will be eventually mentoring you a lot. So I think SIDTM का जो brandcom है, I think you guys have been really helping students as far as the mentorship is concerned. So stay tuned to these students and also stay tuned to C2C, because दोनों platform पे आपको बहुत ज़्यादा help मिलेगा जहाँ तक Snap का सवाल है. Now closing thoughts, Lisa, Srishti, and Sachin.
I would want to add one more thing. So while we were speaking about co-curricular academics and stellar achievements that we have, sports is also something that cannot be neglected. Because if you've been a major sports player, like if you played nationals, or if you played district level as well, I mean, these are also achievements that everything can be related to management. For example, if you were a sports player, so what skills can the interviewer pick up from that is that you are a team player. You could lead the team. You could manage crisis. So the skill set that can be created, that can be showcased from the interviewer's point of view, is that कि तुम ये सब चीजें कर रहे थे. So whatever you were doing, try and relate those skill set to the management side, to the leadership side, because that is what the interviewers are looking at.
True. मैं एक क्वेश्चन पूछना चाहता हूँ आप लोगों को. अब मेरे को वो याद आया, क्लिक मुझे हुआ, एंड मैं बच्चों के लिए बहुत ज्यादा हेल्प करना चाहता हूँ. एक क्वेश्चन जो बच्चे मुझे ऑलवेज पूछते हैं, मैं तो आंसर दे देता हूँ, नो डाउट अबाउट इट, बट स्नैप कॉलेजेस को, सिम्बायोसिस को लेके बच्चे ये पूछते हैं कि सर ROI के बारे में कुछ बताओ. You guys want to give a little idea about it कि ROI, how does it feel? मतलब मेरा आंसर एक ही होता है, अगर आप ऐसे कॉलेज में जा रहे हो टिल SIDTM जहाँ पे मतलब तुमको 20 लाख के ऊपर भी सैलरी लग सकती है, तो तुम्हारा ROI का कोई लोड नहीं है। बट आप लोग अभी इस कॉलेज में ऑलरेडी हो, यू हैव मेड द पेमेंट्स एंड एवरीथिंग, राइट, मे बी एजुकेशन लोन व्हाटसएवर, राइट, हाउ डिड यू डील विद इट एंड तुम्हारा थॉट प्रोसेस क्या था ROI को लेके?
To go forward with it, I initially, when I joined SIDTM, I was finding it very difficult in the like the telecom subjects were a little going above my head. But like as the time went past, I figured, "ठीक है, this is doable." So the roles that come in also, it's probably doable for me. So while initially I had a pensive mode where okay, I've paid my fees, which is XYZ lakhs. Is it possible for me to get XYZ as my placement role? So I was like, and if people are taking education loans, that's another thing. While you're taking education loan, you start paying your education loan by the time you start working. So what do you look at? Do you look at a 3-year gap that 3 साल में pay कर सकूं, या फिर मैं 5 साल में pay कर सकूं? So these are also certain things that people look at. So I was looking at I want to at least finish my student loan in the next 2 years or 3 years. I think that's possible.
Okay. Now, Lisa, you've been you've been the brandcom and you've done a lot of stuff. You're being smart. I want to ask you a straightforward question: ROI versus brand. What's more important?
I would say brand, because that's in the long run.
Right.
Because
Go ahead.
even after you complete, even after you get placed somewhere, which might not be equal to the fees that you've invested over here, but in the long run, once you jump to another company, they will not be looking at acha your fees match nahi kiya tumhara placement. They'll be looking at they'll be more looking at ki acha Symbiosis as a brand, which is a reliable brand, which has been recognized, is something that you've been part of. And Symbiosis having a great peer learning culture, a great student driven culture. Like, that if you're from Symbiosis, that bacha smart hai. Like, that is the idea that you get.
True. Anything you guys want to add in, Sachin, Srishti?
I would like to add in. So I think starting में जब भी कोई MBA कॉलेज देखता है, ROI बहुत important चीज लगती है लोगों को. But that was, I think, my also one consideration कि SIDTM ROI का ये सब. But at the end, when you realize it's not important, the domain that you get, the job profile that you get, उसके बाद after that, what is the growth in that domain is very important. Starting में, even if it's less, you're not meeting the ROI, it's fine. But आगे जाके how the growth is, it's very important.
True.
And to get in a good domain is very important. And I think getting good job. So ROI, I don't think that's
okay. Sachin?
Yeah, sir. So basically, one reason why I wanted to join SIDTM was to change my field. I was a chemical engineer working in sales. So I thought I wanted to shift to IT and telecom sector. So for that, I don't think ROI was much of importance. Definitely, it was a point of consideration. But all I was focused more on was how will I develop my career in the coming years. So I believe that coming year was a good decision. I am able to switch my career now through various jigsaw what I have been through. And I think ROI would be covered later on, like since I have a good like 20 to 30 years left probably. So I think I'll be able to cover my ROI very easily during my entire thing. So brand name was more important for me. Yeah. And the choice of field which Srishti mentioned. Yeah.
Again, same stuff जो मैं always कहता हूँ, हर साल कहता हूँ. Symbiosis के अगर आप top 7, top 8 colleges अगर आप देखते हो, ROI के बारे में बिल्कुल भी मत सोचना. Because ROI का टेक्निकल डेफिनेशन ये होता है कि 1 साल में कितना आपको रिटर्न मिलता है. MBA का तुम्हारा डिग्री 2 साल का है, तो तुम एक्चुअली उसको फैक्टर इन नहीं कर सकते हो. और तुम्हारा करियर चलता है लंबा, 20 साल, 25 साल, 30 साल तक चलता है. एंड Symbiosis एज अ ब्रांड, इट्स अ ह्यूज ब्रांड. मतलब जैसे लीजा ने कहा कि सिम्बी है मतलब स्मार्ट है, वो एक सिनोनिम है. सिम्बी इज इक्वल टू स्मार्ट किड्स, वो एक सिनोनिम है. वो तुमको जिंदगी में ऑलवेज आगे लेके जाएगा. एंड सिम्बी में ना एक बहुत अच्छी चीज है जो मैंने देखी है, लॉ भी नहीं होता है. मतलब सिम्बी है, तो SIBM पुणे वाला हो, SIDTM वाला हो, SIBM बैंगलोर वाला हो, सब एक दूसरे के साथ है, बिकॉज सिम्बी है एट द एंड ऑफ द डे. सो आई थिंक दैट्स अ वेरी गुड थिंग व्हेन इट कम्स टू एन एलुमनाई नेटवर्क. एंड इमेजिन अगर 7-8 कॉलेज को अगर मैं प्लस कर दूं, क्या एलुमनाई नेटवर्क होगा इनका. सो ROI डजंट रियली मैटर. आप मेहनत करो, अंदर जाओ. बहुत सारे कॉलेजेस है जो 70, 80, 90, 95% पे आपको 30 लाख की भी पैकेज देने का एक हिम्मत रखते हैं. So I think doesn't really matter. Now, again, anything if you have to add, then do add in. If not, then I think we can call it a day. If you have anything, then you guys can go ahead. Couple of questions. Go ahead.
No, yeah, that's about it. That's from our end.
ठीक है. Cool है यार, cool है. Thank you so very much. तो ये हमारा पहला सेशन था DTM के बच्चों के साथ. We'll have more sessions also, and we will also bring in a lot of success stories, for you guys. So definitely, those who are gunning for CAT, you should also look out for a SNAP exam. Do fill the forms. Do give a priority to SIDTM as well. And thank you so very much, Lisa, Srishti, and Sachin, the placement guy. Into comma. I'm gonna catch you again. For joining this session and giving some real good ideas on profile building to my students. Thank you so much. I'll see you soon. Take care and bye-bye. And guys,
Thank you, sir.